Good morning and welcome to the Delco Show. This is Fiore, Executive Director of Delaware County's Brandywine Conference and Visitors Bureau. You are listening to the Delco Show, brought to you by and sponsored by the Delaware County Chamber of Commerce right here on iRadio Philly. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, we'd like to thank very quickly our wonderful lunch ambassadors, our lunch sponsors, Primo Hoagies on Baltimore Pike in downtown Media. It's a wonderful, wonderful array of foods that we get every week. Stephen, I know we've got 3 here today, but none for Mr. Farias. Okay, they're ours. Do you know what we have? Did you look? So this is going to be another Primo surprise. Well, we want to thank Primo's because every week it's a wonderful surprise. And I think we mentioned last week that the beautiful, beautiful Katie from Headroom, where we do our show from, gets one of the hoagies, and we kind of make up that decision. I'll have to ask her how the seafood hoagie went last week, so we'll take it from there. So, Primos, thank you very much. I did see the Primos show on our delcoshow.com website, and Stephen, he did a great job on that. That's a funny show, Stephen. Very, very funny show. I especially love the eating segment. It went out, well, you made me look like a pig, okay? And we'd also, don't start laughing yet, Chris, okay? And we'd also like to thank Headroom. It's a office building that you can rent temporarily, large offices, small offices. For example, we're in the Innovation Room, which is a nice small corner office, which we use as our studios here, located at State Street and Veterans Square, right here in Media. The corner office, big windows. We can look right outside, and we're looking at the trolley coming down State Street, and it's beautiful this time of the day with all the little shops, boutique stores and everything like that, flower shops and everything, jewelry stores, Zen Nails and Spas right across the street from us, and we're about a block and a half from the courthouse. So, you got to check out Headroom. It's headroom.net. Take a look at the Innovation Room, as well as about the 7 or 8 others, I think, Stephen, they have here. Conference rooms, state-of-the-art technical stuff. They have a kitchen, which you can bring stuff in and kind of leave it here. And you can rent by the hour, by the day, by the week, by the month. You can become a member for the whole year at a very nominal fee. So we want to thank John and Dean. Sounds like a rock group, doesn't it? Well, John and Dean, for the nice sponsorship and allowing us to use this space. So check out headroom.net for private office space in downtown Media, 24 Veterans Square. And again, Primo's Hoagies, thank you. We'll let you know how the hoagies turned out. I'd like to welcome to the show now a gentleman who has a company called EBS, Eastern Business Software Incorporated. Chris Farias, I pronounced it correct?
You got it.
Thank you very much. Who is the CEO as well as the Grand Poobah and wears many, many hats as the CEO for Eastern Business Software, Inc. Chris, welcome to the Delco Show.
Thank you, Tori.
And Chris, I said to Chris prior to we started the show, I said, do people call you Chris or they call you Christopher? And he says, well, interesting. The men call me Chris, and the women call me Christopher. I'm going with Chris. We may change. I'm not sure yet. Okay, I may if Katie, the receptionist, comes in, sneeze if you have to. Stephen, you're good. Okay, it's radio. Katie comes in. I'll introduce you as Christopher. Okay.
That sounds good. Thank you.
So, Chris, Eastern Business Software, Inc.
Yes.
IT.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, internet technology, something called Dynamics CRM.
Yes.
And a variety of other things, Microsoft Dynamics. I mean, it's a little above my head, but we'll try to muddle through it. Anything that I can't answer or that I should be asking, Stephen E. Kessler II from Tech Guys, Painless Technology, will probably let me know. Ask this question, and we can take it from there. So, anyway, where did EBS, Eastern Business Software, come from? How did it begin? I know we talked about 1988 and like 1992, da-da-da-da-da.
Right.
But better yet, where did you come from? Because I understand that's a great story.
Well, I'm an immigrant, like just about every American that exists today,
Except the American Indians.
except them, right?
Now you want to get into that conversation?
So I'm an Asian Indian. I come from India. I grew up in the city of Bombay, which is kind of like Manhattan, it's
Yes.
like New York.
Yes.
So I came here in 1982. Then I worked for, which wasn't the best time to come. It was a recession like the recent one we had. But then I got a job with Control Data Corporation, which was a mid-sized computer company.
Where was this?
Control
Yeah,
Data.
where was it?
This was downtown Philadelphia.
Downtown Philadelphia, okay.
So we had our office in the Stock Exchange building at 19th and Market.
Sure.
Very nice, probably the best office space at that time.
Yeah.
But mid-size computer companies were going down the tubes at that time. So Control Data, excellent company, but went the ways of Wang, DEC, Prime, and other great companies.
And Steven's over here nodding his head. Yep.
So the writing was on the wall, and then my division got sold to Sterling Software, and I was in an EDI, or Electronic Data Interchange division of Sterling, getting pressure to move to Ohio, which was where the company was headquartered. And I decided my wife's job was always going to be more stable than mine. We had 3 little sons, and I said, thanks.
She's a pediatrician.
She's a pediatrician
Yes.
at Crozier Chester,
Yes.
yes.
Yes, definitely more stable. There's always going to be kids, Chris.
So I figured that that was a good opportunity for me to become an entrepreneur again, and that's how I started the company in 1992.
What brought you, though, from Bombay to here, and how old were you?
I was an old man. I was 30 years old.
My God, you're over the hill, Chris.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And the reason I came here was the lady I'm married to. I met her in Bombay. She's from Bombay too. Like most doctors, came here to do further medical studies.
Sure.
And she was vacationing in Bombay when we met, and I said, thanks, but no thanks. But here I am, 30 years later, 3 kids, house, couple of cars,
Yeah.
the American dream.
That's how it. Yep. That's how it works. Yeah. Without a doubt. And then the next thing are the grandchildren.
Oh, yes.
But no rush.
No rush, no.
No rush. How old are your kids?
Well, the eldest is past 30 now. I think he's going to be 32. He's married. He's got and he's a doctor too. He's
Okay.
smart dude, takes after my wife. He graduated from the Harvard MD and the MBA program.
Hello.
Yeah.
Nice.
And his wife is also an MD from Harvard. So, and they work up at Children's in Boston. So.
Okay. Well, you don't have to want for, if you have a health problem, you're covered.
Well, that's true. I told him you're the 401k plan. His eyes went very wide. But our other 2 sons are also doing very, very well.
Good.
Thank you. We are blessed.
Yeah. Every once in a while, some people get lucky.
There's a price to pay for everything.
Well, this is true. You're absolutely correct about that. But what brought you here to the United States? I mean, was there anything else besides your wife? I mean, did you come here and then have to look for a job?
You see, because my dad worked for the airlines, I'd visited the United States before that.
Okay.
So I knew, and I had traveled internationally too. So I knew what it was like. And, it's like that initial attraction of being in the States wasn't there for me.
Okay.
But then I met Maria, and then, it's like, hey, that's when I found out the things that a gal can do to a guy.
Yeah. Now, was she from here then when you met her in Bombay?
No, she's not American. She's from India. She studied medicine in Bombay, but then came here for further studies to do her residency and everything else.
Yeah. So, what did you do in Bombay, though? If you came over here at 30, I mean, you must have gone to university.
Yes, I went to a good engineering school there.
Okay.
And then I joined an engineering company called Larsen & Toubro in Bombay. Worked there 4 years, shop floor, machine shops, shifts, labor trouble, guys getting their shins cracked, that
sure.
sort of stuff. So it was an interesting time. Got a lot of experience. And then I left my job to do a full-time MBA because the guys with the MBAs were getting the big promotions.
How old were you when you did that?
I was 28.
It's funny you should say that because we have something in common. I was in the TV industry for a number of years.
Yes.
and I started out in 1969, so I think I'm a little bit older. I'm 64. I think I'm a little bit older than you.
A little bit, yeah.
Thank you for being kind like that, Chris. And I just quit my job one day and went back to school at 30 to get my degree. You know, I took some classes before I entered the media world, the TV and radio world, and I had a job offer back then, and took it. And one day I said, at 30 years old, I'm done. I went back to college full time, daytime,
Right.
got my degree, and I had to, cover expenses for myself. So I got a job that I still love to this day. And when I retire, I'm going to go back to it. Bartending.
Oh,
I loved it. I worked at a private after-hours club that opened at midnight, closed at 5 a.m. It was a hoot. I mean, absolutely. It was the best 5 years of my life without drugs.
I can imagine.
It was 5 years of total degradation. I mean, really, it was fascinating. Not married.
I guess you could write a book or start a whole new TV show.
Trust me, there's still a couple of the bartenders from that period of time that we still get together, and we always talk about that. The thing, we think we saw everything you could see, and then the next night, I didn't think I'd ever see that. It was a fascinating time. Loved every minute of it, but knew that it would be the death of us if we stayed in it.
Right.
I was a TV executive. My buddy Tommy, he was a sales rep for a computerized tool and die making company.
Oh, okay.
So people just thought we were bartenders, but I had a TV background as an executive. He had a executive as a regional sales rep and everything. So, but it was a fascinating time. Anyway, getting back to so you come here, you're working for that company. It starts to go down, downsizing and all that sort of stuff. How did the idea of EBS come about?
Well, after I finished my MBA, I didn't go the corporate route. I started a consulting business in Bombay. So ran that a couple of years. And, initially I was doing management consulting using my engineering knowledge combined with what I learned in the MBA. And that was really a lot of fun because you could take these small manufacturing companies that were struggling and you push a few buttons there, make a change there, and then suddenly everything is streamlined and revenues double.
And they look and they go, aha!
Aha. And then they wanted to hire me, and then I said, no, thanks, and then I move on to the next assignment.
Okay.
So it was a lot of fun, but then Maria came and derailed all that.
Women will do that, I've had a theory when, you've seen how bad this weather has been over the past 2-3 months and so.
Yes.
And we had that good day last week, 73 degrees.
It was gorgeous, yeah.
And then it went right down the tubes the next 2 days, 47, rainy, ugly, gray, A relationship with a woman
Oh, no.
is like the weather. It can turn on you just like that, Chris.
Right.
Just like that. And it never turns on you good.
No,
It always turns on you bad. Bang, just like that. And it's over. Anyway, so, but when you started this business, all this IT technology and everything was still fairly new, wasn't it?
Well, IT wasn't new because IBM had created the industry with the mainframe computer.
Well, fine, I can go back to ENIAC in 1949 for crying out loud.
Correct.
At the University of Pennsylvania.
Correct. But
Yeah.
then there was a big change in technology happening at that time because Intel had come out with the PC chip. The IBM PC had come about, and companies like DBase and Lotus were creating software
Right.
that then reduced the cost of computing significantly and made it available to the smaller guys.
Okay.
And I was in the midst of that. So when I left my job, that's the technology I was working in, building the same kinds of solutions we did and offered on a mainframe, but on a PC to smaller companies or even divisions of Fortune 100 companies.
Well, that would be like when I went back to college in 1980 to 85. I took a computer course, and I guess that's what I'm thinking. You were still doing key punch, making the little holes in the paper.
That's what I did for my engineering projects.
Speaking of holes in the paper, we've got to take a little hold to get a break and then come back. We are speaking with Christopher Farias from EBS Software, ebsoftware.com. 610-355-1978, located on 200 Lawrence Road, Suite 600, Broomall, PA, in beautiful Marple Township. This is the Delco Show. We will be right back after this break. Thank you. Welcome back to the Delco Show, ladies and gentlemen. As you know that I've been telling you for about a year and a half or so, I'm Torrey Fiore, and you're listening to the Delco Show, brought to you by the Delaware County Chamber of Commerce, right here on iRadio Philly. Stephen, we didn't see what the hoagies were. Take a quick look. Take a quick look and see. I'll be back to you, Chris. Just sit tight, okay? While he's looking at the hoagies, we are speaking with Chris Farias of EBS, Eastern Business Software, Inc., ebssoftware.com, 200 Lawrence Road, Suite 600, in beautiful Broomall, Pennsylvania, in Marple Township. You can give them a call at 610-355-1978, or again, it's ebssoftware.com. And we'll go back to Stephen now. Stephen, what do we got?
We have the Mild Sharp.
The Mild Sharp, that's the provolone, folks.
The turkey provolone.
And the turkey provolone.
It looks like a Nona veggie.
Oh, that's a grandmom veggie.
Okay.
Okay, Katie gets the nonna because, see, my grandchildren call me nonno, which is grandfather in Italian. So the nonna means grandmother. So grandmom's a vegetarian, apparently.
Okay.
All right, so Katie gets that. You get to toss up on the... Oh, no, I get to pick this time. I want the turkey and provolone.
Sounds good.
All right? All right. So, again, Primo's Hoagies, thank you very much. And, Chris, I'm sorry to say you get none of that.
Oh, you've broken my heart here.
Well, you should be, because Primo's located on Baltimore Pike and Media, one of the finest hoagie establishments in all of Delaware County. So check them out, Primo's Hoagies on Baltimore Pike and Media. We want to thank our hosts that sponsor the show. Headroom, which is a private office space, 24 Veterans Square, right on the corner of Veterans Square and State Street in beautiful downtown Media. Trolleys going by, all that stuff. Headroom.net. And we are in the Innovation Room, which we're basically taking over, and it's our studio, but we're not telling anybody. I think we're going to put a keep out sign on here when we're not in here, Stephen E. Kessler II. And thanks to Tech Guys, Stephen E. Kessler II is our grand poobah of technology here. So check this show out, and also check out the website, thedelcoshow.com. I figure a free plug can't hurt. What the hell? Again, welcome back to the show. And Chris, again, thank you for being with us today on the Delco Show. So we found out who you are.
Yes.
We found out, the children, the wife, education, all that sort of stuff. But I have one more question.
Sure.
Where do you live now?
Oh, I live in Broomall.
Okay, so
I've always lived in Broomall.
Okay, so
yeah.
you've been in Delaware County how long?
Oh, about 32 years now.
All right, you are officially a Delco guy.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, you're a Delco guy. Your wife's a Delco gal.
She is, yes.
I don't want to hear any more about it. You're one of the good guys, okay?
Yes.
Because see, I have an old thought process and an old saying from a very old commercial.
Yes.
And it was so old, I don't think they make this cigarette anymore. But to paraphrase them, you can take the boy out of Delco, but you can't take the Delco out of the boy. Just my little thought process on it. So it's internet technology. What is Microsoft Dynamics CRM? Let's get down to specifics now.
Sure. Well, CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management. And you see, in the past, companies like us would build like small solutions for companies, for departmental managers, for sales reps. But the evolution of technology has created these, what we call ERP or large packages like CRM, which do a ton of things.
Hold it with the acronyms. What does ERP mean?
ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning.
Okay, see, Stephen knows that. I'm looking at you and I'm going, all right,
I apologize.
You're talking Indian. No, that's okay.
Yeah, but what it means is that the kinds of software solutions that were available only to large companies because they always cost $1 million+ bucks,
Sure.
now suddenly becomes available to the small guy because the price point has dropped to some ridiculously low levels, And it's kind of unfortunate that even the small guys only look at the price. They don't look at what they're getting for that price and what they
Yeah.
can do with it to really increase their sales, improve their business process, and things like that. So I'm on this, I would say, mission at this point, because my sons are, college is paid for. They're all in great schools and things like that. So I'm on this mission to take this story about what the technology can do for companies and make it happen for them in the small and medium-sized business space.
Okay, but did I understand that you're focusing on manufacturing?
Well, the industries I'm focusing on are manufacturing and professional services.
Okay.
Now, having been a member of the chamber for a number of years and working with Jack Kinsley, who also comes from a manufacturing sales background, there is an emphasis to boost manufacturing within the county. But because manufacturing, if it's done right and starts to grow, can create multiple jobs compared to services. I'm not talking about healthcare. Now, let's say professional services, like guys like Steve and myself. If our sales go up, we'll hire one guy or two guys, right? And that'll take care of a 25-30% increase in our sales. You take that same percentage and increase the sales of the manufacturing guy, he has to hire 5 people. The number of jobs that you can create in manufacturing is huge. But Delaware County is very traditional and conservative.
Really? You think so?
I think
You
so.
think
I'm
so, Chris?
absolutely-
Fascinating.
Which is why all the young people run away to Philadelphia and Chester County. Now there are pros and cons, because it gives you a kind of stability, because people who move into Delco don't want to move out ever.
Yeah, or their families or anything like that. It just goes down and down and down. Yeah, yeah.
And that's what I've observed just as an outsider coming into Delaware County.
Yeah.
Because it offers you terrific facilities from point of view of life in general. But for manufacturing, the companies have they're current in terms of their operational technologies. They have the latest and greatest machines, the latest technology in terms of computerized machinery and things like that. But an observation, and this is not true this is true of just all small companies, is their sales and marketing, they're doing the same old way.
Well, so I guess I've got 2 questions, I think.
Yes.
And both of them could be answered probably, I don't know, by, what are you, stupid tour? Okay. But I'm trying to figure out how this would relate to, if it would at all, and this is going to be question 1 and question 2 combined, to an SAP or a Boeing. I mean, I don't know, because Boeing is a manufacturer per se,
Correct.
and SAP is a designer of the hospital or business, software.
Yes.
I mean, how can I relate? Can I put them together, or I'm way out in left field?
You can, in the sense that, let's say Boeing and SAP, they are part of the Fortune 100. They're large companies. When they move in, they hire thousands of people.
Right.
Right? But you go one level down from there, and then now suddenly you have these small manufacturers who can vary from like 10 million in sales to 200, 300 million in sales. Guys.
So a small company, let's talk Boeing for a second,
Okay.
that Boeing buys product from, which is a small company
Yes.
in Essington, right on the river, Delaware River, Piasaki.
Right.
So that's the company that you look at.
That's what I look at today, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's not enough that they just have Boeing as a customer. Because if there's something to do with the aircraft industry and Boeing downsizes, then they're in trouble if they're their big customer.
Which they've had happen 3 or 4 times, as much as I can remember.
That's right.
Yeah.
So they have to spread the risk by getting more customers. And how do you get more customers? You have to understand that the way the buying has changed. And so the technology enables companies to address this new way in which people buy.
So it goes back to the old adage, never put all your eggs in one basket.
Absolutely.
Okay. I get it. So I mean, I don't know if they're trade secrets or whatever they are, but give me a couple of names of customers that you work with. If you can. If it's none of my business, just tell me to shut up.
Oh, no, absolutely. Like, for example, in our traditional IT support business, we work with Delcora, the water authority.
Oh, do you work with a gentleman named Robert Powell at all?
No, I work with Kevin.
Okay, don't know. Well, Robert's an old buddy of mine who handles, I guess he handles proposals for all the townships and municipalities and everything to use Delcora's services.
Right. And then we're getting into that part of the business.
Okay.
Because the part we work with is an application that supports the trucks that bring in stuff, so this is the sludge. And
I'll have to connect you with him. It's very interesting. Anyway,
that, yeah.
All right. So you were saying about Delcora.
So Delcora is one customer in our traditional IT support, custom application support business. But in the CRM space, we're working with for example, a company out in Newtown, PA, called Optimal Strategics Group. They sell services to pharmaceutical companies. So they'll go to a pharmaceutical company and say, hey, we'll analyze your data, we'll survey your customers, and then we'll figure out the best way in which you spend your advertising dollars to position this product to get the maximum profitability.
Got it. Okay.
So they have their market research methodology and things like that. But they're in a global market. They have reps all over the world. And they want all their reps to sell the same way. And CRM enables that
to happen. So it's consistent. It's telling the same story on a consistent basis.
Correct. So you take your best sales rep, you figure out how he's doing things, and then you get everybody else to do the same thing to better improve performance.
Okay. We have about 3.5 minutes left, but I got to ask these next two questions.
Absolutely.
Okay. What would be one of the weirdest, craziest, or scariest moments in your business, and what would be one you're most proud of? Oh, he's got a smile on his face. I don't know which one I'm getting, but you got 3 minutes to tell me them.
Well, the scariest part was like right after the .com bust.
Yes.
When I got distracted by .com I was involved in, and then I ignored another customer, and they were a slow pay because they were in financial trouble, and I had to let go most of my staff. I cut myself back to 2 programmers, and then 1 month after I took that action, one of the 2, we didn't know it at the time, he had advanced leukemia, and he died like within 2 days. That was a rough period. So the other gal who was there, it was too much for her. She just lost 10 of her friends, so she quit. Yeah. Boy, you got screwed 6 ways from Sunday, didn't you? I had to make a choice whether I had to just throw in the towel, go find a job, or continue the business. And it wasn't the best time to go look for a job either.
No.
But I'm still in business stories.
So most proud of, which is a good thing. Are you most proud of still staying in business, I guess?
No, actually, what I'm most proud of is the fact that all 3 of my sons are Eagle Scouts. And they've done very well. Number 1 went to Penn and then Harvard. And the second boy went to Princeton and then got a PhD from Hopkins. And our youngest son, who's always the rebel, the youngest is always the rebel. Yeah. Well, he did well at Boston College and now is studying medicine at Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah. Actually, normally, Chris, it's the second son that's the troublemaker. Yeah, which would be me. Yeah. My older brother, my younger brother, and my younger sister, they're all normal.
Okay.
Yeah. Where they are politically correct and they deal with things and all that sort of stuff, they're very... I've pulled back a little bit because the old phrase, thinking out of the box.
Right.
That can get you in trouble. Okay? So what I try to do now is just think on the edge of the box. Okay?
There's no fun in that.
No, but it's just scary enough to let people say, this man's one sick puppy. So, ladies and gentlemen, we had a delightful conversation with Chris, also known to the ladies as Christopher Farias, who owns a company called as CEO of EBS, Eastern Business Software, Inc., located on Lawrence Road in Broomall. You can contact him by phone at 610-355-1978 or check out the website, ebssoftware.com. Chris, it was delightful having you on the show today. I learn something new every day when I talk to people, and you were actually fun to talk with, in spite of what everybody said. You want to, Stephen? What did they say about him?
Horrible.
I know it was but I can't believe you turned out to be a nice guy.
Oh, thank you, Tori. I appreciate it.
And if I had any more kids, I'd use your wife as a pediatrician just because of you. Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to the Delco Show on iRadio Philly. We will see you next week.